Top 10 most visited luxury cities in the UK. Millions of visitors travel to and around the UK every year, and according to Visit Britain, every corner of our beautiful islands are visited. Whether you are a British or international tourist, there is indeed plenty to see and do in the UK. If you need ideas or inspiration for where to start your tour, let's have a look at Visit Britain's top 10 most visited cities in the UK. 1. London. Home of the Houses of Parliament, Big Ben, the Tower of London, Westminster Abbey, the British Museum and more British icons, London is a world centre of theatre, art, music, literature and culture. It's also a city of colourful markets, great shopping, green open spaces and a cosmopolitan culture. London is home to 7.5 million people, or 12.5% of the UK's population. Not counting visitors, more than 1.5 million Londoners come from abroad. They speak 300 different languages. On top of its cosmopolitan locals, London welcomes more than 25 million visitors a year through its 5 airports, national rail stations and Eurostar terminal, the gateway to the continent. 2. Edinburgh. Scotland's capital and the seat of its parliament, Edinburgh combines the young and modern sensibilities of a great university city and national capital with a historic and dramatic setting. Here you'll find the world's biggest performing arts festival, a 1,000-year-old castle and a mountain, Arthur's Seat, right in the middle of town. And Edinburgh's annual New Year's celebration, Hogmanay, is 4-day street party to end all street parties. UNESCO World Heritage Site buzzing with festivals and cultural events, it's really no wonder the Scottish capital takes the second spot on this list. From exploring the beaches nearby and taking long walks in one of its many parks to attending the city's endless list of art festivals, there is so much to do in Edinburgh, you will be spoiled for choice. Find more information on visiting this amazing city here. Edinburgh has about 500,000 people, including more than 62,000 university students. At least 13 million people visit every year. During the main festival month of August, the population of Edinburgh swells by more than 1 million, making it, temporarily, the UK's second largest city. 3. Manchester. Manchester is often called the first modern city. In the 18th century, this northwestern city, 30 miles from Liverpool, was the cotton-making capital of the world and one of the breeding grounds of the Industrial Revolution. Its entrepreneurs and industrial tycoons endowed it with museums, galleries, theatres and libraries as well as outstanding civic architecture. A devastating IRA bomb in 1996 created the need for city centre regeneration, resulting in a new, dramatic 21st century cityscape. Today, some of the most exciting architecture in Britain can be found in Manchester and the nearby Salford Quays area. Among the highlights are Bridgewater Hall, home of Manchester's Hallé Orchestra, Urbis, a glass curtain-walled exhibition centre, and the Imperial War Museum, designed by Daniel Libeskind. Manchester has long been a hotbed of the indie and pop music scenes. Among the bands and artists who got their start, Manchester can claim Elkie Brooks, Take That, Freddie and the Dreamers, Herman's Hermits, The Hollies, Oasis, Simply Red, The Smiths, The Stone Roses, Morrissey and dozens more. 4. Birmingham. Despite being the 3rd largest city in the UK, Birmingham is a bit of a hidden gem. Most people will think of it as a business destination rather than a touristic one, but trust us when we say it has plenty to offer. Find out more here. Birmingham also has several tasty claims to fame. George Cadbury made his chockies here, and his Bourneville estate was an early planned community. In more recent times, Birmingham has become the heartland of that Anglo-Punjabi speciality, Balti cuisine. 5. Glasgow. Scotland's largest city and the 3rd largest city in the UK, Glasgow's had long taken a back seat to Edinburgh with tourists and visitors. Its reputation as a rough, crime-ridden, dirty and hard-drinking city put people off. But since the mid-1980s, Glaswegians have worked hard to turn that image around. And they've succeeded. In 1995, Glasgow was European Capital of Culture. The award wasn't for the heritage culture that enlivens Edinburgh but for an entirely more contemporary vibe. And it keeps getting better. In 2008, Lonely Planet named Glasgow one of the top 10 cities for tourists. In the same year, the Mercer Report, a quality of life survey, put Glasgow among the top 50 safest cities of the world. Nervous tourists note that was more than 30 places higher than London. 6. Liverpool. When visitors think of Liverpool, the Beatles come immediately to mind. And, of course, there's plenty to do that's Beatles related, not least of which is his visit to the famous Cavern Club. In 2008, the mantle of European Capital of Culture landed on Liverpool, revitalising this city in England's northwest, as the award often does. Liverpool's Albert Docks area became a UNESCO World Heritage Site for its role in the maritime history of Britons. Visitors to the area can explore Liverpool's part in the history of the slave trade, commemorated in the world's only international slavery museum, in emigration to the New World and in the spread of trade and culture across the British Empire. The spotlight on the dock's history has also brought trendy clubs, hotels, shopping, dining and a Liverpool branch of the famous Tate Gallery to the immediate surrounding area. 07. Bristol. Bristol, on the borders of Somerset and Gloucestershire, is a small, attractive city with a history of creativity and innovation. It makes a great base for touring with Stratford-upon-Avon, Warwick Castle, Bath, Stonehenge, Cheddar Gorge and Longleat all within easy reach. Once one of England's most important ports, like Liverpool, it was a centre for the triangular trade in the 17th and 18th centuries, shipping manufactured goods to Africa in exchange for slaves who were then transported to the Americas. 08. Oxford. Oxford University is England's oldest university, dating back to the 11th century. It's the reason that many people make their way to this small city, 60 miles northwest of London, on the edge of the Cotswolds. The city has England's oldest public museum, the Ashmolean, recently refurbished with its exhibition space doubled. Visitors can also enjoy shopping in a lively covered market, find an almost hidden pub that was popular when Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton were still hiding their affair from their respective spouses, explore a haunted castle and stay in a unique hotel that was once a jail. And then, of course, there are the colleges. Visitors are welcome to stroll the fascinating, historic grounds and chapels of most, but not all, of the colleges. Others are only open during fixed times of day or as part of official guided tours. Official guided walking tours, run by the Oxford Tourist Information Centre, take in the colleges, other Oxford landmarks and Oxford movie locations, including some used in the Harry Potter films. 09. Cambridge. Cambridge, like Oxford its traditional rival, grew out of an association of scholars who settled in one place and founded the colleges. According to tradition, Cambridge, Britain's second oldest university, was founded in 1209 when a group of scholars fled Oxford after a disagreement with local townspeople. Smaller and less urban than Oxford, Cambridge is, nevertheless, a lively place full of fascinating museums and galleries, theatres, and improving restaurant scene and pubs. The colleges themselves, which together have produced more Nobel Prize winners than any university in the world, are masterpieces of medieval, Tudor and Jacobean architecture. Among the standouts open to visitors, King's College Chapel, with its soaring thistle-vaulted ceiling, is a must. From April to September, Cambridge can be packed with tourists who arrive on buses, stay a few hours and skedaddle. But train services from London are frequent and journey times relatively short, so it's a shame not to linger a bit longer to explore some of the lovely gardens along the backs, where Cambridge colleges back up onto the River Cam. Because of the crowds, many of the colleges now charge an entry fee to visit their grounds and limit opening hours. 10. Cardiff. Cardiff, the capital of Wales and its largest city, has experienced a virtual renaissance. In a little over a decade, its visitor numbers have increased by more than 50%. When the Millennium Stadium, home of the Welsh national rugby union team and the Welsh national football team, opened in 1999, the city welcomed about 9 million foreign visitors. In 2009, that figure had risen to more than 14.6 million foreign visitors, with French and Irish rugby fans leading the way. The rebirth of Cardiff includes redevelopment of the waterfront along Cardiff Bay. The Senedd, home of the Welsh National Assembly and designed by British architect Richard Rogers, opened there in 2006. Nearby, the Wales Millennium Centre, opened in 2004, is a performance venue for theatre, musicals, opera, ballet, contemporary dance, hip-hop, comedy, art and art workshops. It has 2 theatres and 7 resident companies including the Welsh National Opera. Free performances take place in the centre's foyer every day and visitors to the bars and restaurants can enjoy views of Cardiff Bay. The building is a striking landmark on its own, clad in Welsh slate, bronze-coloured steel, wood and glass. It is a reflection of the Welsh landscape. If you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe and press the bell icon.